Alright, you guys. Of course, like usual, I'm going to start the video off by saying massive spoiler warnings for the upcoming video. So, just thought I'd go ahead and warn you guys before the video even starts. Alright, you've been warned. Let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so today I'm going to be debating the Colossal Titan or Berthold Hoover versus the Warhammer Titan or Willie Tiber's sister. So I'm going to go ahead and start off. We're going to start by just with the Colossal Titan, sorry. So Berthold Hoover is the possession of the Colossal Titan, which is the largest Titan that we've seen in the series outside of the Reese family's massive one, which was so huge of a Titan that it couldn't even walk on its own 2 feet. So Berthold's Colossal Titan is the only one, it's the largest Titan that actually has any form of mobility outside of just literally scraping itself on the ground like Rod Reese's Titan. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm just gonna talk about a few of the Colossal Titan's feats, and then by the end of the video I'm gonna explain who I think will win this battle. So most notably, the Colossal Titan, as stated by Reiner, is essentially it is the strongest Titan to essentially ever exist. Like, it is meant to be the strongest Titan ever. But as also stated by Berthold, Reiner, that it's because of Berthold's timid nature that causes him to not be able to fully utilize the Colossal Titan's power. Now, he does say, like I said, he didn't look like he was more dependable until the fight at the end of the Shiganshina battle arc. But in the end, like I said, Berthold was able to actually overcome that and actually finally put away any form of self-doubt and shyness that he had. So, most of them, like I said, the Colossal Titan being the largest in size, a 60-meter class Titan. Of course, that makes him unusually huge, but it also makes him extremely slow. But even though his slowness is an issue, he is able to counteract that by other methods. One of the ways he was able to do it through the Shiganshina battle arc was, like I said, he caused everyone to basically have a no escape type plan. He was able to chuck large buildings, the Shiganshina district's buildings around, as, like I said, throughout his transformation, because of the steam he gives off, actually set everything on fire. So he literally just caused a giant ring of fire in Shiganshina so that way no one could escape and leave them with just one option to come towards him. And of course, like I said, with something that massive and putting off that much steam, of course, will make anyone a little bit nervous. So that gave him advantages. On top of which, because of his massive size, Eren, who at this time in the series is in control of the Attack Titan, which could be argued that is like the strongest Titan in terms of like physicalness, though I think later on some of the stuff that we've seen later is definitely not it's the Attack Titan's full capabilities. But Berthold casually, when Eren thought that just by trying to block one of his feet, he thought that that would actually manage to push him back. But Berthold literally just kind of kicked his foot back and literally sent Eren flying to the top of the wall, destroying that part where Eren was on. And actually, the shock that he threw him at, like I said, actually left Eren unconscious. So, yeah, he has the most, or is the most powerful Titan in both physical capabilities and destructive capabilities. On top of which, if you actually pay attention, it looks like Berthold and them are actually somewhat in the center, give or take, and he still managed to throw Eren to the other end of the wall, and like I said, effectively knocking him out. So that should just go to show you, like, no other Titan has ever been able to do that type of physical damage, and let alone just knock Eren out, which is impressive in itself. On top of which, like I said, because Berthold's, or the Colossal Titan in general, special ability, or his slowness, I should say, gives him that special ability to offset his heat a lot differently than any other Titan has been shown able to do. As you know, every single Titan seems to have a heat ability, or at least its temperature, overall body temperature, is extremely high. That is why every time you see a Titan regenerate, it's always seeing that steam. But Bertho, because of his slowness to counteract it, produces a heat that literally that anyone that gets close to it will actually get burned to a crisp. So it is definitely a ridiculous heat. But the greatest weapon that I would say that the Colossal Titan has in its arsenal is its transformation ability. Now, if you've never seen Attack on Titan, which I'm hoping you have, great show, in the anime and even in the manga, but I think the anime does a little bit better. You see when Titans usually transform, the lightning that comes down and strikes causes some form of destruction to the nearby area. Yeah, Barathos literally just drops a giant bomb whenever he transforms. That once the transformation done, just leaves a giant mushroom cloud and just complete destruction where he is. And like I said, in the current manga and or later, earlier manga chapters and in the latest episodes, it kind of showed the devastation a little bit better, which showed just how much area Baratho really cleared just by transforming. So, like I said, just by transforming, he's able to cause such massive damage, which is definitely, I would think, in my opinion, the greatest factor of the Colossal Titan. Because, yet again, just because every other Titan is able to do it, none of the other Titans actually have shown to cause that much destruction or anywhere near that type of destruction, as a matter of fact, just by transforming. So, that would probably be the Colossal Titan's greatest weapon. Now, moving on to the Warhammer Titan. The Warhammer Titan is a lot different. It is actually, or was anyway, in possession of Willie Tyber's sister, who is who I'm using in this versus battle. I would use Aaron, but of course Aaron has only used the Warhammer Titan's powers once, and we haven't really seen much of it then, so I'm just going to use Willie Tyber's sister, who also shown to use it a little bit better so far than Aaron has, and like I said, we got to see her appearance in chapters 100 or 101. But the Warhammer Titan is no pushover. When she first transforms into the Warhammer Titan, the most notable thing is Aaron didn't really get to see it. Like, we didn't get to see the transformation at first because Aaron immediately started pouncing on it before it even fully transformed. But as soon as it did, literally it just impaled Aaron on this giant stake like that. The stake was higher than the buildings of the Marley Empire. Like, she impaled him to a high extent. So it allows for her to grant power such as that. Now, one of the most notable things that the Warhammer Titan has that's impressive is the stakes and stuff that it's able to create come from its ultimate use of the hardening ability. Most people, like I said, saw Annie and Aaron use the Titan hardening abilities, but the Warhammer Titan is able to use it and actually create weapons and stakes of that nature. Like I said, we saw her use it to impale Aaron to a high extent, and we also saw her use it to actually slow down his movements or minimize his movements by creating a bunch of mini stakes that would impale his feet. So the Colossal Titan is able to use the hardening ability to create weapons that would definitely be granting the wielder a lot more versatile equipment. On top of which, we've also seen the Warhammer Titan create long-range weapons as well. She actually created a crossbow and actually managed to shoot Aaron with it. Now, the panel I'm showing you actually has a lot more importance to it because this is after getting hit with Mikasa throwing a few, like 3 or 4 thunder spears at the back of his neck. It didn't even actually blow the neck off. It actually just kind of did damage to it, definitely, but it didn't even blow its neck off. And as soon as it started to regenerate, just shot the crossbow at it. Another thing that we also saw it able to do was create, basically after being bombarded by even more thunder spears, the Warhammer Titan, or Willie Tyber's sister, was able to create like a whip that easily sliced the building into multiple sections just by one swing. And she also did this very casually while being weakened and actually kneeling down in a sense, or at least falling. So it definitely had a lot of destructive power and a lot more versatility. But one of the most notable things about it is the Titan shifter, or Willie Tyber's sister in this matter, does not have to actually be inside the Titan. In fact, when she did end up getting somewhat defeated, or anyway, because Aaron figured out that the Titan formed from his feet up, she ended up activating a second attack that impaled Eren and stuck him on a tree. So that's just by using a second transformation, and it happened instantly. Another thing is, like I said, it's also not lacking in just pure brute strength either, because Eren, after when he got impaled with his feet, the Warhammer Titan took a literal giant Warhammer, like that shit was that is huge, and swung it down on Eren, who also, like I said, is one of the strongest Titans at this time. Actually managed to harden his ability, ended up getting his hands blown off and his head off in one swing, without actually killing Eren because she was not trying to at that moment. Okay, so with all that information, I'm sure you guys are probably wondering, okay, well, with all that, who wins and who loses? Now, this was pretty difficult to debate, mainly for one reason, and pretty much just this one reason alone. And that is, of course, the basic bomb that the Colossal Titan constantly does as soon as it transforms. Like, that is a very devastating attack, and it's even kind of, not fully, but a little implied that even if Eren in his attack Titan form would have been in a range that would have took serious damage and possibly could have died. But you also got to remember, this Eren isn't anything like the Colossal Titan or Armored Titan. Now, the problem with the explosion is, even though it packs a wall, like I said, when the Colossal Titan fell on fell on Reiner, Reiner in his Armored Titan was able to survive. The Warhammer is also encased in armor-like as well, and on top of which, Hanji, when she got pushed by a soldier, managed to survive by basically falling into a well, and she managed to survive. The Warhammer Titan, or Willy Tyber's sister, would also be in a similar boat because she also does not have to be in the body of the Titan. In fact, when she first transformed onto the scene, she actually immediately transformed into it, and somehow her body managed to get kind of dug deep underground. So far anyway, to the point Eren had to take his entire Titan arm and go underground. So I think that would be the equivalent of Hanji's well, if not even a little bit further. So she would definitely survive off impact. On top of which, the Colossal Titan's heat also wouldn't be able to really do anything, considering, like I said, both the Warhammer Titan, the Armored Titan is more durable than the Warhammer Titan. So the heat definitely wouldn't do anything, but that heat also causes a fatal drawback of using way too much energy, and once that energy is expelled, not only will he move a lot slower and also be reduced from the fatness that you see to a basically skin and bones version of himself. That skin and bones version is so weak that even Eren, by taking just regular blades, had to actually cut through it. Or was able to cut through it and tear out Reiner. So definitely, I think in the end, I'll have to give it to the Warhammer Titan just for that reason alone. She would definitely be able to survive the Titan or Bear Throat transforming, and on top of which, she would definitely be able, with her versatile equipment, be able to weaken and cause the Colossal Titan to use more energy and use up more stamina, causing him to be weaker. And thanks to, like I said, her versatile equipment, especially with the fact that she can use long range attacks, she would definitely be able to find a way to take out Bear Throat. Definitely. She would be a lot faster on top of which, and I also think the steam wouldn't really do anything to it if the Armored Titan could. And on top of which, even if you don't want to say it, like I said, she could definitely, once the Colossal Titan is weakened enough, just simply get behind him and actually either possibly cut his legs off or something and knock him over and then just take him out. So the winner is the Warhammer Titan. Like I said, if you disagree with me, comment it down below, and I'm happy to discuss it and explain myself into even further detail if need be. But in the meantime, seriously, you guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with people if you want to get them involved on the topic as well. I love hearing new ideas. But until next time, you guys, I will see you. Peace.